Hi, I'm Verena Gayatri Primus. I'm a mother, I'm a yoga teacher, an Ayurvedic specialist, an Ayurveda yoga coach since many years. And my specialty is to incorporate Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, and modern coaching and time management tools into motherhood. And today I want to share something with you that is at this moment, it's just started to be November. We're sliding into December. It's what we call in Ayurveda a Vata season. And I see it and I get so much feedback from my clients, them noticing the changes and not quite understanding. So I've created this video to explain a little bit more about the Vata dosha, what it means that winter is a Vata season. What are the symptoms of a Vata imbalance? How can you notice it in yourself? And most important, how can you balance it? And I also want to share a little deeper, how balancing Vata is important in every stage of motherhood, from the beginning when you start to get your period to the end when you stop having your period and beyond. So the Vata dosha is one of the three doshas, or it's called humors or energies that influence your body, your mind, and your emotions. Ayurveda states that there are 5 elements, which are ether, air, fire, water, and earth. And these 5 elements, they build up the universe. So everything that exists out of a combination of these elements. So since we are part of nature, also in us, these 5 elements govern our body, our mind, and our spirit. Maybe not, that's beyond, but we are having these elements in our body. And when they join to come together and influence how we look, how we feel, how we digest, many personality characters of ourselves, these elements join to create the 3 doshas. And actually, dosha translated means disturbance. So it actually means when these doshas are in balance inside of you, these elements, you experience happiness and health. But if not, these doshas cause all the symptoms, from mental symptoms, physical symptoms, emotional symptoms, that are symptoms of disease or dis-ease, not feeling well. So there's Vata, there's Pitta, and there's Kapha. The Vata dosha is the dosha which is consistent of air and ether. And I can tell you a lot, and I don't want to give you here an Ayurvedic lecture. I just want to tell you one of the most important things is to keep this Vata dosha in check. And unfortunately, in this modern style of life, in most of us, I can literally say we have a Vata imbalance. Because our life, the way it is right now, is almost geared to bring the Vata dosha inside our body out of balance. Because the Vata is air and ether, it's movement. The Vata stays for movement, and we have so much movement in our life. And especially the Vata constitution itself is a very curious constitution. Vata is very beautiful because it's connecting you to the higher understanding of the world. So if you have a lot of Vata, you're a spiritual person, you're a curious person, you're a fun person, usually a very artistic type of person. But also this way of life, this modern, fast-paced, overstimulating life, is very imbalancing. And also, if you are not a typical Vata constitution, more a Pitta constitution, when you're quite more fiery, more of a leader, or more a Kapha constitution, more kind of a slow person, liking to take care of other people, enjoying the pleasures of life, even in every constitution, this Vata gets out of balance. And this would also go so far, but within a year, all 3, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, have a dominance. So that's when this dosha becomes predominant. And the Vata dosha, since it's cold and flighty. It has no warmth. It's air, it's ether, you know. It basically increases in the winter months. So starting in the fall, all the way into winter, up until spring, that's when the predominance changes into kapha. The vata is high. And you might notice in the winter, you know, it gets dark soon. Your mood might be more changing, one day good, one day bad. Maybe typical symptoms are anxiety, overwhelm, fear. If it's strong, it can be even panic. And a general sense of unease, you know. And also, you know, you might notice your skin getting drier, you know, you're feeling cold more often, your immune system drops, you're more prone to catching a disease or a cold, and generally you feel more like you want to draw inward. And this actually is a good thing. You know, the winter months, when they're more dark, it's a time to go more inward. And in the winter time, in order to balance out this cold, you know, this vata predominance in nature, we want to try to do the opposite. So these are really the principles of Ayurveda. So if on one side you have the cold and the darkness that creates the vata and the increase of vata, you want to balance it out with exactly the opposite. So that's why we have also the Christmas time, you know, that's why we snuggle up on the couch. I mean, we do this naturally, you know, you grab a cup of tea, you put your blanket around you, you go to bed earlier, you stay home the nights instead of going out. You might be rather watching a movie or reading a book, you know, even if you're a mother and you are having children, you spend more time at home, maybe more family time. So this is all wonderful. This is all perfect. Important in the winter months is to really not do too much, you know, not to overstimulate yourself and to really take care of yourself. And there are many Ayurvedic and yogic ways to balance this out, which would extend the scope of this video. But there are many things you can do to really stay grounded. So it's good to adjust your daily routines. It's good to adjust your food to more grounding foods, to more calm. Even your yoga you want to adjust. You know, a few little things, you know, giving yourself a massage, taking a warm bath, you know, wrapping up in a warm blanket even at night. These are little things you can do to balance out the Vata dosha. And just a client asked me recently, so is it only in the winter the Vata is increasing, and then it's over, or how does it work? And I say, no, unfortunately not, you know. It's by various things you're doing that the Vata dosha increases in every stage of your life. And the Vata dosha can really cause a lot of mischief in our lives. So when we started the journey of motherhood, which is actually the beginning when you start to bleed, in the beginning of the menses, Vata in the regular moon cycle, bleeding cycle, if it's too much, if you have an imbalance of Vata, you experience pain. You experience pain, you experience discomfort, you experience irregular menstrual cycle. And, you know, this can be quite tough for a lot of women, having to take painkillers or doing extreme things to balance this out. And according to Ayurveda, this is a Vata imbalance. And if you're not sorting this out in your early years of womanhood, this can also lead to infertility. I mean, for infertility, there are many reasons according to Ayurveda. All three doshas can be involved, and this can only be determined if you're really taking a one-on-one consultation with an Ayurvedic specialist like myself or like someone else. But Vata is usually one of the main causes also for infertility, making the reproductive tissues weak, the quality of the egg weak, again disturbing the regular cycle, which can cause infertility. And also the Vata dosha can cause most of the disturbances in the pregnancy, which I don't want to go into it, but let me tell you, very important is the time after the birth that's where the Vata dosha can increase drastically. That's why I've also discussed this in another video. In the postpartum time of motherhood, it's so important to really take care of yourself, because I mean, Vata is everywhere where there's a lot of space. You know, Vata comes in where there's space because it's air and ether. And, you know, you've been pregnant, you have enjoyed a beautiful pregnancy, your baby has been with you, and then from literally one moment to the other, the baby comes out. And there's a lot of emptiness suddenly in your belly, in your body. It's not just this huge hormonal changes you're going through, but it's also that space that is suddenly there in your body. And I know you have your baby now, you can love your baby now, but still there is enormous space, and that's where the Vata can come in. That's why, from the Ayurvedic point of view, postnatal depression, postnatal depletion, emotional disturbances, you know, mental problems, physical problems with breastfeeding, with nervousness, with insomnia, all of this are Vata challenges. And that's why it's so important to really make sure you're providing a good postnatal care, either with a doula, with an Ayurvedic specialist like myself who is specialized on this, or with a midwife who is helping you. But really the postnatal recovery is extending beyond the 40 days. In my experience, it really takes the body a full year to come back into shape. And I have introduced in another video the 12 months yoga program I've created for this, and also the 12-month private one-on-one Ayurveda coaching program to really support mothers to adjust to the new situation in motherhood. And one of the elements is to calm down the Vata, to balance down the Vata. Yes, and then throughout motherhood, you know, there are so many opportunities actually where Vata gets out of balance, because we do have to juggle so much. There's so much overstimulation. There's just constant stress, still many years of sleep deprivation. And it's a constant effort to balance out the Vata, to stay in focus, to stay grounded, to stay connected to ourselves, to not let that overstimulation, overdoing take over. And this is where the sense of overwhelm or of exhaustion and tiredness come in. This is one of the most reasons we put on weight as women already throughout motherhood, even before perimenopause and menopause. It's because the weight kind of balances out that overstimulation. And then of these, for those of you who are watching the video who are already in perimenopause and menopause, that's really where the Vata starts to grow. So old age is an increase in Vata, and that's why it's so important to take care of yourself in every stage of motherhood to balance out this Vata dosha. And I hope this video gives you a good introduction. I'll be covering, probably in my upcoming Holistic Motherhood course, Mama Wonderful 101, Reclaim Your Time, Energy and Focus, through the holistic tool of Ayurveda and yoga. Probably in the first module, you're not only going to learn to understand your own individual constitution and your own challenges and how you can balance it out, but because this Vata dosha is so important, I'll be offering a whole lesson on this and how to balance it out and how to create regular routines so you keep this Vata dosha in check. But for right now, wherever you are, snuggle up, take care of yourself, eat warm foods, take warm baths, take it slow, and shut up away from a little bit too much overstimulation. Less is more, and be loving and nourishing to yourself. And if you have any question and need to reach out, go to my website, Verena, Verena, Primus, Primus.com. Go there, grab my free holistic starter kit, especially made for mothers. Grab the other free tools I have there. get in touch with me. I'm here for you. I'm here to serve you. And I hope you get to know me better so you trust me on your motherhood journey. Thank you very much. Namaste.